perhaps what you need to start by doing is just give us an introduction of who you are. And also in your introduction, not forget the fact that I know you, but the other people don't know you. So for those that don't know you, so in your introduction, perhaps just also, more into sport. You've got a very huge profile when it comes to sport. So let's start there.
Okay, basically, you are asking me to introduce myself.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I am known as Christoph Bongo. For people who have known me for a very, very long time, they will know that they've seen me in the beginning on television. I am a former footballer. I play professional football for Bidvest, which is gone, Vest University, Balfour Park and Highland Park, and I played for Supersport United. And after retiring from football, I went back to Europe where I learned the art of analyzing football. So I am a professional football analyst.
Yes.
And in 2009, just before the 2010 first African World Cup, I was then called to go and work for FIFA. And I managed to work for FIFA for 5 years, where I was working on the football development and marketing communication. So my role was to travel around the continent to fix a lot of football associations in their communication structure and in development as a brand, not football as a football, but the football as a brand.
Yeah.
So that they can be able to get sponsorship, they can be able to market themselves. And the last 2 years at FIFA, my work was to create women football as a brand. So that's what I did for FIFA for 5 years. And after that, I went back to my daily job, which is to be on the national television in South Africa, where I worked in over 6 World Cup, 12 African Cup of Nations, 5 Olympics. So that's who I am in essence. And when you go beyond football on television, I am an entrepreneur. I am an entrepreneur. I develop football content for broadcasting. So, and I am a business advisor. So I advise a lot of people in how to make money in sports.
Yes.
So that's what I do.
Which is actually what we are talking to you about today. And the business of sport, how to make money in sport. Perhaps you could, take us through that exactly in Africa. If you're an African, exactly how do you make money in sports?
The first thing is to define yourself if you think you're an entrepreneur or you're a business person. The distinction is very simple. An entrepreneur is a solution-driven person, and a business person is a profit-driven person. So if you're an entrepreneur in sport in general, your idea is to create solution in how African sport can benefit Africans and the people generally, and which in long term can make money. And if you're a business person, which means you are looking where you can invest your money so that you can have a greater return. So the very first thing you need to do is to define that. What do you want to be? You want to be an entrepreneur, you want to be a business person? And then you have to ask yourself a question: do I have a passion in sports? You have to be a sport person. You have to be in sports because it's very slow and it takes a long time for you to heal the return. So if you have the passion, you will have time to wait for it. So if you are an entrepreneur, Africa is a place you want to be. Our media is not developed. Our continent is still a developing continent. We have people, we have numbers, we have 55 different markets. And we are so diverse and so separated that a person who's sitting in Ghana wants to know what is happening in South Africa. So as an entrepreneur, you should come with tools how to make the person in Ghana to know what's happening in South Africa. And if you're a business person, exactly the same way, why don't you open or have a media house where you invest your money with a great equipment for you to broadcast African daily news, because things happen in Africa, sports every day. So it is an industry where it is limitless. It is limitless.
And you know, you look in European football, they're making quite a lot of money. But we see in most or more and more of our players, the minute we have a great player, like I'm talking soccer now, that person is gone. You know, he goes and plays for some, you know, big team internationally. So obviously there's something that we are not doing right. What can't we afford to pay them? Or what exactly is the issue?
I will give that answer with a very small example. In my past life, I used to be a model.
Okay.
And there are times that happen where, as a model, you are busy shooting something else. And the client will say, no, I'll wait until Christopher is available so I can book him.
Yes.
Whereby there are other models, there are other people that we can use, but why are you waiting for Christoph? It might happen not because Christoph is good or better, it's because Christopher packaged himself in such a way that makes you want him.
Yeah.
So the problem we do have in Africa are the following. Number one, we are badly branded by the rest of the world. So because we are so badly branded, nobody looked at us. Number two, we don't like ourselves.
Really?
As product. No, we don't like ourselves as a product. We don't like ourselves as a product. Which then takes you to the next thing is, when your relationship with yourself is broken, nobody will want you. So because we are, number one, branded badly, and number two, we don't like ourselves as a product, so we cannot use ourselves as a product. If you ask, if an investor come in Africa and ask Africans this question, is your football a service or a product? Is your sport a service or a product? Most Africans, they won't be able to answer that question. Because if it is a product, how do you brand it? How do you package it? How do you make it attractive? Which we don't do. If it is a service, who does it servicing?
Yeah.
So those are the questions that we don't ask ourselves. So an investor who's listening to us at the moment needs those answers. He needs to know that when he lands in Africa, to put money in sport in Africa, he's putting money to a service or is putting money to a product.
Product, yes. So what's the solution?
We have to define ourselves. We need to brand ourselves. We need to package ourselves. We need to do that. That's what you do every day. That's why you choose the background you have in your office at the moment, because whoever is watching, you must be attracted to it. That's why you don't just come on air like if you are going to the gym. You are presenting yourself in a certain way.
Yeah.
How do we present ourselves as Africans? How do we present our sport for it to be attractive? So that is our job. The other side, where I'm saying we're being badly branded, is because your competitors, they don't want you to be the same level as you. They need you to be below them so they can dominate you. You see, when you go to the shop, the prices that we see in the shops are not defined by the shops. it is defined by the competition. So if Africa is not a good place to invest, where will you invest? You invest to them.
Yeah.
So that is the battle that we don't see as a bigger picture.
Okay. No, thank you very much, Chris. And I'm hoping that, this interview will actually help, especially the youngsters, think as to how to get into business of sport going forward.
It is a sad thing because it is those young people. Unfortunately, those young people, they are consuming what is not African.
Yes, that's very true.
And so therefore, they think their target is to be there than being here.
Yes, that's very true. No, you're right. Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much, Chris. Thanks for talking to us this week. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.